Good afternoon, it's Hayley from Chameleon Safety Services, and rather than doing a standard blog for this month's newsletter, we thought we'd do something a little different. So I tasked Sam to ask a series of questions to me about how I find being health and safety director in consultancy. So I don't know what the questions are, I haven't had any prior knowledge of them, so I'm just going to ask Sam to fire away and I'll answer as honestly as I can. Okay, over to you, Sam.
Okay. What first sparked your interest in health and safety?
It was a mistake. So I was working somewhere where I'd been PA for a number of years and had gotten to the point where I felt like I couldn't really do anything else. And I knew that I wanted to work with conformity or compliance in some way, shape or form, but I didn't know what that job looked like. And I kept thinking maybe it was like a food hygiene inspector or some sort of auditor. And then a colleague of mine that was the health and safety person at the time left. And it just clicked. I just knew that that's exactly what I was looking for. And that was 8 years ago now. And it just all fell into place. So it was a mistake, I have to be totally honest. I didn't choose it.
What has been the most difficult hurdle for you to overcome to achieve all that you have?
Most difficult hurdle? I think for those that don't know my journey so far, whilst I was still working for a company as an employed person, I had a medical issue that came completely out of the blue and resulted in me losing my licence for over a year. And it was all at the time when I was starting the business that I still didn't have a driving licence, but I was fully advertised as being nationwide, and it was also the back end of COVID as well. So those first few months of starting the business and being nationwide without a car and not knowing if and when I was going to get my licence back, as well as having the COVID constraints to deal with and people holding back in terms of money because of COVID, I think that looking back, that will always be the most challenging period of trying to get Chameleon to work and making it work, which we have. So,
do you feel you're treated equally to male health and safety consultants in the construction industry?
Oh, this could be a long conversation, couldn't it? Do I feel I'm treated equally in construction alongside male colleagues or consultants? For the most part, yes. There are still some very odd ways that go on in construction. I'm not particularly bothered about people saying hello darling or you're right love and things like that. That doesn't bother me. Treated to my face, most definitely I can say that it can. I'm not saying it always is, but I've found that if I conduct myself in a confident manner and a friendly manner, I've been treated very well, and I don't see that I've been treated that much differently. But when I started out in health and safety 8 years ago, it was different. I'd sit in a site cabin on site and people would literally hand me their mug, 2 sugars please, or the DPD driver comes in and hands you a parcel and like, can you sign for this, love? Doesn't even ask anybody else. It's just because you're the girl and you're there. Immediately think that you're the admin or that you're there to make the drinks and collect the parcels, which an administrator isn't anyway. So yeah, so I do think it's changed, and I don't think I notice it anywhere near as much anymore. But there are still some things in terms of process planning and the sort of subconscious, I think, that is still very relevant to mention, because although people treat me to my face very much as an equal, I still go on site and there'll be a male changing room and showers, but the female changing room is a storage room and it's locked, or something's broken down, or they haven't got one completely, and you ask where the female toilet is, or just a toilet, and it's got the Henry Hoover in it and all the spare paper towels and all the Hilti chargers and stuff like that. So it's if you want me to do the same job, then where the hell do you expect me to go for a wee? It is that literal. So I do think there's still some work to be done there, but I have to say, overall, generally on a daily basis, I don't really notice too much of a difference.
If you was promoting being a health and safety consultant to people who are looking to change their careers, what would you say?
Oh, do it. The best way I can promote going into health and safety is that we need to make it an active thing that kids are taught about in school, to change the culture and make sure that we reinforce that going to work is by no means any reason for you to get hurt or injured or have ill health. And we need people that are advocates for that coming up through the next generations. A lot of people my age and older, I think, from speaking to my colleagues and peers, they fall into it by mistake. And my military friends that have then been discharged or come out of the services and then come into health and safety do so because it fits very much with their way of life and what they've been used to. But it's not very often an active decision of, I love health and safety and I want to go into it. And I think that needs to change in terms of getting a genuine inherent desire to do very, very well and have the culture set from the beginning. And I think that will only come from educating younger people. And if anybody out there is thinking about going into health and safety, there is no reason I can give you to not do it. It's a very, very rewarding role. You are helping to keep people safe. It's got an awful lot of job satisfaction. It can also lead in almost any direction possible with transferable skills, because health and safety is needed by every single industry, sector and business in the UK and further afield. And it just constantly keeps you on your toes, that every single day is a school day. You never get bored with it. You never get a chance to get bored. So I would just say to just look into the type of health and safety work that you want to do your research and go for it. That's it, simple as.
One
more question.
One more. What do you find the most difficult aspect of being a consultant?
I don't know if I find any particular aspect of being a consultant difficult per se. I find running the consultancy at times difficult because it's not just me I need to worry about. And if anybody goes into having their own consultancy for money, step away now. It is a long slog to get a business up and running, profitable, consistently profitable year on year. And we are going into our 4th year in April next year, and I still very much feel like this is a baby company that needs nurturing and needs my time and dedication. And I put myself last in terms of salaries and things like that to safeguard Sam and other employees that we've had. So I think they are where my challenges come from. In respect of just being a consultant, I think I would say that the biggest aspect of difficulty that anyone might come across would be the sheer broad knowledge base that you need to have. If you sit within an organisation or a sector for a lot of your career, you only learn that sector or that company and the way that they do things. And when you go into consultancy, unless you are going to specialise, which will narrow your market, so if you want to do construction specialism, then you really need to know construction. However, if you go into consultancy like we have here at Comedian, you will take queries that are so vast that you really need to dedicate time to study and experience across as many sectors as possible. You can research, admittedly, we are taught to be good researchers. You don't have to know everything about every regulation off the top of your head, but that is very time consuming, and we are, as much as we love the job, still here to make a business. So you really need to be good at retaining information and working with a knowledge base that is very broad. And understanding that you have to dedicate a certain amount of your life to doing that. to make it successful. If you're not confident in lots of different sectors and you don't cover things from everything from poisonous plants and spiders through to confined space works to asbestos to all the other different weird and wonderful things, then you do need to probably spend some time in consultancy to build up that repertoire and that knowledge base that you will need. I think that's it from me. That's it from Sam. So talk about putting me on the spot. I hope that that's been really useful and there's some helpful information in there. It is only my opinion and my journey, so go get out there and listen to lots of other people as well. But that's pretty much it from us, so I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you.